Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to 30 Days of Sketches. It is June 1st and that starts off a whole new series and a whole new round of 30 Days of Sketches, which is the 21st time we have done this. The sketch today is by Tara over at the Paper Snob, and I am taking some elements of it and using them but ignoring some of the other elements. So what I took from this is that shelf design and a single photo. Well, I think she's got two photos, but I'm doing a single photo. But my photo is larger, so I think she's got two smaller photos on there. She's got some mixed media in the background, so I am doing some mixed media in the background. And she's got some messy thread on there, so I'm going to also use some messy thread. And she's got a couple of tickets tucked in. I'm also using some tickets, but they're going to be moved around into a different area down by the title more. So, yeah, I'm kind of like deconstructing her sketch, if you will, and working with it that way. I've got this template or stencil from, I believe it's from Pear Tree Crafts. I'll have to double check that. Yeah, I'll put the link down below if I can find it. So, what I did was I used a little bit of saltwater taffy distress oxide ink on my paper. And then I went and sprayed it with a little spun sugar distress oxide spray. And then I used a little of the distress spritz, which is basically just the mica. It doesn't have it's the sparkly mica. It doesn't have actual color in the liquid from my understanding. So it does have a sparkly shine where all of those hearts are, and I think it's super cute. I've got a picture of the middle kid that I take care of, and that's back when she was a little tiny baby and she's on her dad's lap. So when I come across pictures that feature mom and dad in them, I try and do those for the girls, or for the three kids. There's not just girls anymore. And so that there's not a ton of photos with mom and dad, so I try to, mom and dad never seem to get in the photo. It's kind of like if you're scrapbooking your own stuff, you're rarely in the photos unless you make it a point to do it. So when I get those photos, I definitely try to make sure that I use them for their scrapbooks. I went over to my bin of tissue paper, pulled out a navy blue and a silver. My layout was starting to look almost monochromatic, and that is something that I love doing, and I kind of do it without thinking about it. So I have to kind of intentionally go, let me get out some other colors. And since the title has some navy blue in it, I decided to pull out navy blue. The embellishments do have some turquoise in them also, but I would be really good about ignoring those and just using the pinks. But in this case, I'm pulling in some of the navy to offset the pink, and I really love how it looks. So just tore my papers there and glued them together, trying to glue them in a straight line, lining them up with my grid on my glass mat, and that way they'll just stay stuck together all in one big straight line, hopefully. And I can move it around really easily rather than trying to move all of the individual pieces. I love working this way, and it just makes me happy because then I can move the whole element around. It makes it a lot easier actually to do your mixed media. In this particular case, my mixed media is most of the background using that big stencil. But if you're doing mixed media that doesn't have a stencil and you're trying to figure out placement, this is a great way to do your layout, because you can move the whole thing around at the end and figure out where to put your mixed media. So here's my little ticket pieces. I'm trying to figure out what else to put down here by the title. If I want some flowers, I do have a very limited selection of flowers. The ephemera here is from the Cocoa Vanilla Happiness collection, and it's been in my stash for a while. I don't have any of the papers left, but I think I have some of the 6x8s. I don't have any of the full-size sheets, so I'm just going with it and doing the best I can with this little pack of ephemera that I have left over. I think there's like a couple little offcuts of paper stuck in there as well. And I'm liking how it is coming together. It's coming together really simply, and pretty quickly actually. So that's why this video is very short. The thing that took the longest was the dry time on the sprays. And you may have seen me take the stencil and flip it over and use the negative of the spray that was left on the stencil and smash it down onto another piece of paper, because why waste it, right? I can use that somewhere else maybe, and it'll show up on another layout someday. So I did take this over to my sewing machine. I stitched all the way around the outside, as you can see there. I also did some stitching in the embellishment areas, and the stitching that I did around the outside and in those embellishment areas, I'm not pulling the navy blue thread back through. So I've got a white bobbin thread, and I'm just taping that down so that nothing comes unraveled. But I am leaving the threads kind of loose and messy on the front side, but I am trimming them down so they're only maybe about an inch, inch and a half long. So they're not like just dangling everywhere. And I'm kind of liking that. It's not a technique that I use very often. I usually prefer things to be very clean, but because I'm tucking in some messy thread nests, I guess, then it's going to just play nicely with that kind of a look. I'm just using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to adhere everything down, using my tweezers as an extra hand to just kind of hold that heart down because I didn't want it to pop up, and then just bundling up a bunch of the thread to create my little thread nests and tuck them in to my clusters there. I am using a little bit of Juniper Mist ink on this layout. I'm going to be using it for some splatter, so you're going to see me do that in just a moment here. That's some Catherine Pooler ink. It's my favorite navy, and this ink pad is super juicy, so I'm just using a water brush to pick it up rather than a paintbrush. My water brush was sitting to the side, and it allowed me to just easily grab that ink rather than to pull out water and spray it on my desk and all of that. You can do it either way, whatever's easiest, but a water brush is really handy for that. And then I decided to add a little bit more splatter with some of that Distress Spritz spray from Tim Holtz, and then I think I'm going to call it done. I don't really have a whole lot to say for this layout. Journaling wise, I'm going to leave it for Mom to go ahead and write on there, and I believe they are out of town at their grandfather's house, and I'll just stamp the date on it and call it a done layout. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to check the playlist link that is down below for everyone playing along with this round of 30 days of sketches. Thank you, Tara, for the wonderful sketch that you've provided for us to use today. And go and check out what everyone else is doing with Tara's sketch. The link is down below for you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.